Hi, DataFam. Today I'm going to show you how to build a chart that looks like the one you see on the screen. It has several points as a distribution and an average by pane. I'm using the Data plus TV dataset, taken a small sliver of the data, the series ID, title year, season number, episode number, title ID, and the title name. And on the metrics, I have the average of the IMDb title rating. For the sake of this example, this is the data we are going to work with. Every series has a bunch of seasons, and every season has a bunch of episodes. Each episode has a title name and an IMDb rating associated with it. When I click on any one of these titles, the menu option allows me to navigate to that page. And there are other episodes in that series. Hide and Q. Hide and Q is our episode 9. Anyhow, now that we understand the data behind the analysis, a question could be, how have the series done over time when it comes to episodes? Here on the rows, I have each of these series, title and year, by the series number, further broken down by episode number on the x-axis, and the y-axis represents the average IMDb rating. Each of these panels or the series has an average dynamic reference line or a value to represent the average IMDb rating for that particular season. What that means is Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 1 has an average rating of 7. The Season 4 average of all episodes is 7.7. Star Trek Next Generation 1987. The most popular season is 7.7. And that's a little trick. As I click and hover over the reference lines, it toggles to show and highlight the average values. I can clearly see that 7.7 has been the highest average rating for the Star Trek Deep Space and the Next Generation. This 3.3 is the lowest value for any episode across the board. And this 9.4 is the highest value. Now that you understand the kind of questions we can answer, let me show you how I built it. In a new sheet, drag the series ID to the row. In the interest of time, I've created a set of the 3 series that I'm interested in. Let me now drag the series title and year to the rows, season number to the columns, and the episode number to the columns as well. Title ID to the details to make sure that all the titles are unique. Change this to a circle. Grab the title, drop it into details. Title rating. Right click, drag it into the rows and select average. Go up to the top, click entire view. Size, increase the size of each of these marks. Left panel, click on the analytics tab, drag the average line and drop it onto pane. Hover over the line, right click and edit. I would be interested in showing the value. Untick the show recalculated, click OK, hover over the reference line and click format. Numbers, number custom, leave only one decimal place. A little bit of cleanup is needed. Hide the series ID, right click, untick the include in tooltip. There is another way of jittering these points. Instead of having the episode number in the columns, I can drag that to the details. The marks may look a little messed up here, but that's where the random function comes in. Random is an undocumented secret function that comes with Tableau. It is dependent on the data source, much similar to how today and now functions are. My data points are now spread across not on the episode numbers, but on a random scale that goes from 0 to 1. I can choose to hide that, clean up the column grid lines as well, unhide the 0 lines for a cleaner look. On the y-axis, we have the average IMDb title rating that goes from 0 all the way till 10. I would argue that we could choose the independent axis ranges for each row for a better distribution and untick this include 0 so that my y-axis starts from a number that is relevant to my dataset. A word of caution here with this step. More often than not, with a bar chart, it makes sense to have the datum starting at 0. However, for a spark line or a distribution like so, it could be starting at a point that makes sense. If we choose to start from a point that's not 0, is to call it out in the text or somewhere in the chart. This is a good practice to have so that your audience, when consuming and reading the data, is aware of this choice. Hide it back, and there you have two ways of building charts: using the random function to jitter, or using the episode number, season number to spread out the data points. I encourage you to download the dataset from the Data Plus TV Tableau page and play around with it. Thank you.